Hey Kurt, how you doing
Hey,
today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So Kurt, tell us a little bit about Washington County.
Sure. Well, Washington County is a suburban county to the metro Milwaukee area. It's about 130, 145,000 people, mostly a growing part rural, part manufacturing county, which is growing quite substantially in the last several years with a lot of development in housing and different businesses. So kind of an expanding county footprint and an expanding base of veterans.
Okay, awesome. Good to know. What are some unique challenges that you see that veterans face in Washington County?
I think the biggest challenge that a veteran either coming to Washington County or living here and trying to use VA services would be the distance to the VA Medical Center in Milwaukee. They do have an option to utilize the VA Medical Center in Madison as well, and it's pretty much a horse apiece, if I can use that phrase, between Milwaukee and Madison, depending on where you live in Washington County. And that creates substantial challenges for public transportation. Of course, if you have your own car and you're comfortable driving, 45 minutes to an hour through heavy traffic, you can do that. But for our veterans that struggle with that or need to use public rideshare programs, they're very limited in scope. There isn't a lot available, and quite frankly, they're hard to work with when the VA schedules appointments. So by far, that's our biggest challenge. Now, when it's the 60-year-old and over veterans, we do have services like interfaith caregivers that take up that mantle and help them. But it is that middle ground between the ages of, maybe 35, 40, and 60. If somebody is really suffering from their disabilities and struggling and can no longer drive, we have trouble finding rides for those individuals, which we've been working on over the past several years.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting to know. Is there a certain area of veteran you service more in Washington County?
I think our primary group of clients right now is the Vietnam era veterans. By far, they are the biggest group of veterans in the state of Wisconsin right now. We certainly do have plenty of Desert Storm and Persian Gulf War veterans. As you may know, that's now the longest period of war in our nation's history. So I think that group will only require more services as time travels on. But right now it's mostly Vietnam veterans. It's mostly Agent Orange related claims based on toxic exposure, especially reclaims for Vietnam veterans widows who may have filed a claim back in the early 2000s, 2005, 2006, 2007, and now are looking for a new adjudication, a new outcome of their claim that was denied back then related to Agent Orange for Blue Water Navy veterans from the Vietnam era. That seems to be a bulk of our claims right now.
Okay. How important is a DD 214 for a veteran? And if a veteran's looking to get a copy of their DD 214, what should they do?
Sure. So DD 214 drives all benefits within the VA system. So whether you're looking at the VA from a federal standpoint, like the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, or a state standpoint, like the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs, or even local offices like a county veteran service office, a DD 214 is required for pretty much anything that you do to number one, prove service, but also prove your character of service. Unlike the R&R House, which is very accepting of veterans regardless of their discharge outcome, most VA services, public services, require an honorable discharge or at least not a dishonorable discharge
Mhm.
in order to utilize those services. So we need to show that, prove that in order to get veterans into that pipeline. Um, to get a DD 214, there's really a couple of ways you can do that. You can always reach out to the National Archives, and provided they have your records on file, there were some burned up in a fire in 1973, unfortunately. But provided they have your records on file, it's as easy as reaching out to that organization and then waiting for them to send you a certified copy. However, there are some other strategies you can employ. For almost every service member after World War II, there's a little box on the discharge itself that most admin clerks, when you're leaving service, check automatically. And what that box says is, do you want us to send your discharge back to your home of record? Most admin clerks have checked that box. So if you entered service from Wisconsin, for instance, the day you left service, the admin clerk packed up your discharge and sent that to the state of Wisconsin. So the state may have a record as well. And the state systems and the federal systems don't necessarily interact. So you may want to reach out to your state. Of course, in Wisconsin, county veteran service officers have access to that database. But other states as well. If you entered from, Colorado or out east somewhere, make sure to reach out to your state and say, hey guys, do you have my discharge? Because it may be a whole lot easier to get it from a state agency or a local organization like a county office than it will be from the National Archives. The biggest issue with working with the federal government in any of these situations is just that everything takes a lot of time.
Okay. And what was the best way for veterans to get a hold of your office?
Sure. So we suggest call and schedule an appointment whenever they want to come see me. If you just have something basic to do, for instance, you want to get the veteran indicator put on your driver's license, or you want to request a DD-214, or request your military personnel file, or just establish yourself with our office, you don't need an appointment for that. You can come in through our walk-in hours, which is 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, at the Herb Tenney's Government Center right here in West Bend. It's if you know West Bend as Highway 33 is our main pass through freeway or highway. We're right on that highway. It turns into Washington Street as you go through. But we're right on that main road. So you come to the county courthouse, we'll help you with those things. Or what we do suggest is if you want to meet with me, schedule an appointment. We're usually booked 1 to 3 weeks out. But it's really heavy, we're 4 weeks, but that's a rarity. But book an appointment so that we can spend some dedicated time together, go through your files, make sure that we touch every single one of your questions and we don't feel pushed for time. We usually schedule appointments 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what the veteran wants to do. If it's for a pension, which is a little bit more involved, we'll usually schedule that appointment for an hour and a half to make sure we can go through all of the veteran's finances. But by far, our best way to get a hold of us is our phone number. It's 262-335-4457, 262-335-4457.
Perfect. One follow-up question had was with the pandemic going on, have you guys reopened for like walk-ins or whatnot, or is it still all fun?
Yes, we've been open the entire time. Actually, our county courthouse never closed. We sanitize the office. We wear masks. Washington County as a whole has gone to the standard of we encourage masks, but we don't require them. So if you come to the county office, if you feel more comfortable wearing one, certainly wear one. If you feel more comfortable that we wear one, we will wear one. And you probably won't have to ask, but if for some reason we're not, feel free to ask and we'll put one on for you. But we do sanitize the office after every guest comes in, especially when we have veteran appointments, especially when we have high risk appointments like veterans who are recovering or in remission from cancer treatment. We want to make sure to protect all of our veterans, regardless of people's feelings about masks.
Perfect. Well, Kurt, thanks so much for being here today and answering questions. We're glad you were able to make it.
Well, thank you. I love the opportunity and I love what you guys are doing. I will definitely be referring some vets your way.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.